Gnome Extension is the most creative and informative extension in the Gnome Desktop Environment. Hello, my name is Blair, your science teacher. Today, we will learn about this Linux app called Gnome Extension, or should I call it Gnome Shell Extension. Let's begin our Linux app. A Gnome Shell extension is basically a tiny piece of code that enhances the capacity of your desktop environment. Think of an add-on on your browser, just as a browser add-on adds an additional feature to your browser. The Gnome extension adds additional feature to your Gnome desktop environment. For example, you can install an add-on to your browser to disable ads. This add-on is developed by a third-party developer through your web browser. It doesn't provide it by default. Installing this add-on enhances the capacity of your web browser. Similarly, Gnome Shell extensions are like those third-party add-ons and plugins that you can install on the top of your Gnome desktop environment. Those extensions are created to perform specific tasks such as displaying weather condition, internet speed, CPU monitoring, and so on. Mostly you can access them into the top panel. There are also Gnome extensions that are not visible onto the top panel or your desktop panel, but they still tweak Gnome's behavior. For example, window app wobbling effect and a middle mouse button that you can use to close an application with one such extension. Now that you know about Gnome Shell extensions let's see how to install them. There are three ways you can install Gnome Shell extension. 1. Using a minimal set of extensions from Ubuntu or your Linux distribution based in Gnome. 2. Find and install extension in your web browser. 3. Install extension using Extension Manager application. And 4. Download and manually install extensions. And the last one, I'll leave it as it is not easy for newcomers to Linux. Maybe in the next few episodes I will do this as it is required more attention. In this episode, I will teach you how to remove Gnome Extension 2. So stay tuned. Although Gnome Tweaks is not required for extension to work, installing Gnome Tweaks tool in Ubuntu or whichever distro you are using is better. First, you have to install Gnome Tweaks via the terminal. Don't be afraid to use the terminal. It is so easy to use it. Just like when I used to install some programs in Windows OS. We also use terminal in Windows 2. Open your terminal and type. To install, open your terminal and type sudo apt install gnome-tweaks. Then click enter. Or via Linux Software Center and search for the Gnome Tweaks software and click install. After it installed Gnome Tweaks, let's proceed to method 1 using the terminal. Method 1 use a Gnome Shell extension package. Ubuntu and several other distros such as Pop! OS provide a package with a minimal set of Gnome extensions. You don't have to worry about the capability here as it is tested by your Linux distro. If you want a no-brainer, just get this package and you'll have 8 to 10 Gnome Extension installed. Proceed to your terminal and type sudo space apt space install space gnome-shell-extensions. Once installed, log out and re-log in to your system. After you start your Gnome extension application from overview, this extension application will be installed as part of your Gnome Shell extension package. You'll find a few extensions installed. You just toggle the button to start using a installed extension. Now with method 2, using a web browser. The Gnome project has an entirely website dedicated to extensions. That's not it. You can find, install, and manage your extension on this website itself. No need even for the Gnome extension application. But to install the Gnome extension through the web browser, you need a browser add-on and a native host connector in your system. Here's step 1. Installing a browser add-on. When you visit Gnome Shell extension website, that's extension.gnome.org, you'll see a message like this. To control Gnome Shell extension using this site, you must install Gnome Shell integration that consists of 2 parts: browser extension and a native host messaging application. You can simply click on those suggested add-on link into your browser. Step 2. Installing a native connector. Just installing a browser add-on wouldn't help you. You'll still see an error like this: no such native application. org.gnome.chrome_gnome_shell. This is because you haven't installed an host connector yet. There is Chrome Gnome Shell to help you. To install this, using the command in your terminal: sudo space apt space install space chrome-gnome-shell and click enter. Don't worry about the Chrome prefix in this package name. It was not to do with the Chrome. You don't have to install a separate package for Firefox or Opera or Brave browser. Now, step 3. Installing Gnome Shell extensions in your web browser. Once you have completed those 2 requirements, you are all set to roll. Now, when you go to the Gnome Shell extension website, you haven't seen any error message. A good thing to do would be to sort the extension by Gnome Shell version. It is not mandatory though. What happens here is that a developer created an extension for the present Gnome version. In 1 year, there will be 2 or more Gnome released. But the developer didn't have time to test or update his or her extension. As a result, you wouldn't know if your extension is capable with your system or not. The extension may work fine even the newer Gnome Shell version, despite that the extension is years old. It is also possible that the extension doesn't work in the newer Gnome Shell. You can search for an extension as well. Let's say you want to install a weather extension. Just search for it and just go for the one of the search result. When you visit the Gnome page, you will see a toggle button. the toggle button to enable or disable Gnome Shell extension. Click on it. It will be prompted if you want to install this extension. Obviously, go for install here. Once installed, you'll see the toggle button is now on and a setting option is available next to it. You can configure the extension using the setting option. You can also disable the extension from here. You can also configure the settings of your extension that you install via the web browser in the Gnome Extension app. You can see all of your installed extension on your website under the installed extension section. You can also delete the extension that you installed via the web browser here. One significant advantage of using the Gnome Extension website is that you can see if there is an available update for your extension. Now let's install using the Extension Manager application, our method 3. Method 3, installing a Gnome Shell extension using the Gnome Manager application. There is a dedicated application called Gnome Shell Extension Manager to browse, install, and manage your extensions. This application avoids the need of your web browser. By default, it is not be installed in your system, so you can install this application through the command. Just type sudo space apt space install space gnome-shell-extension-manager and click enter. Now search for the manager in your activity overview and open the Extension Manager application. Inside this application, you can see the recommended extensions on your browser page. Search for the extension inside this browser page and install those you want. And that's all you need to know about installing Gnome Shell extension. Now let's try to remove Gnome Shell extension application. Understandably, you might want to remove an installed Gnome Shell extension. If you install it via web browser, you can go to the installed extension section of your Gnome website and remove it from there, as shown as earlier on this video. Or you can remove it from the extension application or the extension manager application. Note that only extension installed either using extension app or through the web browser can be removed using the browser or the application or app. Any extension installed through a package manager should be removed by uninstalling it from the respective package manager. Or you can remove it by deleting the extension file from the directory. So that's it for now for our Linux app Gnome Shell extension. It is a little bit long episode, but I hope it will help you to get more features in your Gnome desktop environment like Ubuntu or Pop OS or any Ubuntu-based Linux OS. I am Blair, your science teacher. Bye for now and see you in the next episode. And remember that science means knowing, because science is cool. Ciao!